Hi there, my name is Athol. I play smart guy on the internet answering your questions about love, sex, happiness, and anything. So let's jump to it. In this episode, I'm going to sort of follow on from the last one, where I'm going to talk about why marriage advice really does need to be co-ed. And I'm basically answering this question because when I started back and all the way back in 2010, I was very much writing for just men. And over the years, I've very much turned into far more of a co-ed type writer, far more of a co-ed focus. And there's been a number of guys that have been sort of upset that I have betrayed them and abandoned them and turned away from just a purely male focus. This video is going to answer some of that. So when I first started writing explicitly for men, I was very much thinking about guys that were basically being too nice, too kind, too sweet, too caring, too reassuring to everything, giving away all their power, and then basically letting the person they're in their relationship with basically, run over the top of them and lose their attraction, all that sort of stuff. So when I was writing, I was predominantly writing to guys that were nice guys. So there's that thing where there is this male focus, but it's a male focus on nice guys. On the flip side of that, that all sort of assumes that if you're being super too nice, that the person you're in the relationship with is somehow some sort of horrible bitch person that is taking you for granted, crapping on you, demanding that you do things, and basically crapping on you. And that nice guy with that bitch person relationship was pretty much what my early work was really focusing on. The trouble with that is that it doesn't really say what the opposite is, which is the good girl who is too sweet, who is too kind, who is too nice, who is too pleasant, who is in a relationship with the total dickwad. And she's being trampled on, he's doing whatever he wants, he's being just a complete jerk, and she's taking it, and she's miserable not getting what she wants from a relationship. And when you pull back the camera, that relationship of the nice guy with the bitch person and the good girl with the total dickwad, they pretty much play out just the same. That they are, the nice guy and the good girl are making the same mistakes. The total dickwad and the bitch person are doing the same crappy, shitty things. They are fitness testing. They're being rude. They're, knocking the other person over. They're pushing back on them all the time. They're getting their way no matter what. They're throwing tantrums. They're being emotional. Whatever it is. We've all seen relationships where there's a nice guy with a bitch person and a relationship with a good girl with the total dickwad. So basically, my audience is not men. My audience is those people who are, have given away all their power. The nice guys and the good girls, because it's the same basic audience. And so it's, instead of dividing up, the people I'm focusing on in between men and women, I'm dividing up my audience between the people I want to focus on, the people that are playing the nice card way too much as opposed to playing the mean card way too much. So if you want a nice handy graphic, woohoo, here we go. So if I'm just focusing on men, I'm just focusing on this one little quadrant, the nice guys, who are playing the nice card too much. Now, I'm going to miss all the good girls because they have much the same problem. They have much the same needs. They have the same sense of giving away all their power. So, to me, that is my audience. That is the people I'm focusing on. Because I really don't care about the dickwads and the bitch persons. They're going to be nasty. They're going to do whatever the hell they want anyway. But I want to strengthen the nice guys and strengthen the good girls so that if they're in a relationship to these people, that they can actually get a little bit stronger and get what they want from it. My audience is not men. You know, because that includes the nice guys and the total dickwads. And oh my God, having dealt with hundreds and thousands of people over the last 7 years, there is unfortunately a lot of guys in that sort of dickwad category who have just crapped all over their wives and girlfriends and have not gotten the results they wanted and are totally confused about it. And sometimes, if you are a total dickwad, the solution is to learn how to be slightly nicer. Just like if you are a total bitch person, sometimes the solution is to learn how to be a little nicer. So that's why primarily my audience is this as opposed to that. I'm not betraying anyone, I'm not being rude to anyone by focusing on this. Not so much that. So that's why I've gone from a focus on, you know, married man sex life, which was a really tight focus on this, to being a little more open, a little more wider, and hopefully slightly more mainstream, where more people can learn from it, more people can get what they want from it. So that's why I do what I do. And that's why a couple of times, you know, when I had the forum, I've had to push back and slap down guys that were just happy and excited and celebrating that crappy things were happening to women, because they ain't all bitch persons. Some of them are good girls that were getting taken advantage of, that needed to learn the same stuff that the nice guys needed to learn. You can't give away all your power to the person you're in a relationship with and expect to get the results you want from it. Sometimes you have to stand up for yourself. Sometimes you have to be strong. Sometimes you need to push back. And there is no getting around that. So, anyway, that's it for this video. Until next time, my name is Athol K. If you have a question for me, you can ask me at askatholanything.com. No, askatholanything@gmail.com. And I will catch you next time. Until then, like, link, subscribe, share, all that cool internet stuff. And wishing you all the love, sex, and happiness you want. Catch you later. Bye.